What's going on? This is Berkeley Moses here, solid as a b-ball. This is my first part of the summer around youth sports. Really excited to have Tesla Simon. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Berkeley. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so guard University of Windsor. I believe this would have been your fourth year of eligibility just passed.
Yeah. So I 4 years, so this would have been my fifth year, like COVID year would have been my fifth year.
The COVID year would have been your fifth year.
Yeah. But since it wasn't used, so I still got technically one more year of eligibility, right?
Okay, so that eligibility year carries over.
Yep, it carries over. So just preparing for it. Who knows, what they're gonna enable us to do. So hopefully this lockdown ends. But yeah, I still have one more year. I'm in postgrad right now, which kind of helped me so I can use that because I already graduated my program. So I'm in teachers college, which we'll dive into that during the meeting. But yeah, I got one more year.
Okay, nice, good stuff. All right, so just I want to give some background. You're originally from Kitchener?
From Kitchener, man. Grew up there, yeah.
Okay, so let's go from kind of grade 11 to how you ended up at University of Windsor.
Grade 11, yeah. So grade 11 is where grade 10 summer is when I really intensify my basketball. I'm training. Prior to that, I was a soccer guy, and then I started, working on my skill each and every day. Wanted to be the best in my high school because I was kind of overlooked. I was a 3-and-D guy, so I had to conjure, weren't allowed to put the ball on the ground. Defended, often the best player on the other team. Played senior in grade 10, and then grade 11 that summer, all the seniors were leaving. So then I was already a senior. I was gonna be the guy. Then I'm like, all right, I gotta be the best I gotta be the MVP in my league. And then train literally at least 8 hours or more a day. That year, won MVP. I scored really well, and then grade 12, I'm like, yeah, I want to be the best. I want to be one of the best players in the country. Why not? Started training even harder. That year I got OFSA. I went off. I played Henry Carr, Oakwood, and a lot of there was D1 coaches there in the building. So I didn't even know they were there. I just showed out. Then after that, I was just hearing talks as I was leaving the gym that I was getting offers and schools were interested in me. And then sat with my coaches that evening. They told me what the loop was. UMass Lowell was the first school that offered me right then. Like literally, they didn't waste time. Me, I was excited. Took my unofficial, went over there, committed. Before even that too. And then, so I committed there. I needed to take my SAT. Took it a couple of times, didn't get the score that I needed for me to get into UMass. Then I took my fifth year. I'm like, all right, I'm not just just because I committed, I still got something to prove. And then was ranked in the NPA ranking, one of the best players in the country. I was ranked fifth that year. Kept plugging away. And then eventually I decommitted just to open up my recruitment. Just so I'm not in a hole. And I knew I was a better player, and I wanted to see what else I can get. Later on, got a bunch of interests. A lot of interest from obviously a lot of schools from youth sports. Took a couple of visits there and there. Eventually committed to Missouri S&T. Committed there because one of my AAU teammates, he was already there. He's a good friend. Then I went out there, did 2 solid years. Was successful in the court. I was still scoring on my rate. I was coming off the bench as a rookie, playing 18 minutes, but I was like averaging, I think 8 or 9 points, 17. That's pretty good. And there was a senior ahead of me, so like he's already been there for 4 years. So I knew I was better than him, but you know how it is, the game of basketball, like seniority, he knows the system, everything. I usually, as a rookie, there's a lot of things that you still need to learn about the game, even if you're talented, right?
Yeah.
So I did well both years, one of the leading scorers in my team the second year, and then Teachers College changed to 2 years that year, 2017. And then I'm like, all right, I knew I can do this. Basketball, I'm going to play pro eventually at the end. I already know with my ability, but I need to make sure once I'm done, I have everything else, which is academic. I want to be a teacher. So I came back. Teachers college now. So I graduated my history degree. And I'm in my postgrad right now. I finished my first year teachers college, heading to my second year. So,
man, good talk, man. Yeah, that's a good look. One thing that kind of stood out in the story, you said in the summer of grade 10, you said to yourself that you wanted to be the MVP. You know as well as anybody in this life, we hear a lot of people say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years go by where we're still in the same space. You know what I mean? Like they haven't accomplished or even started working towards that goal. What is it that you would say is different about you or built into you to say, okay, not only am I going to say that I want to get the MVP, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to accomplish it and do it. What's different about you, or what's been put in you to stick it out like that?
It's a good question, man. Literally, it's literally hard work, man. You gotta be honest with yourself. I knew there were kids who were being talked about in my city who were just as good. They were good. Don't get me wrong, they were good. But I knew, like, listen, if I just dedicate myself and train and then also use those guys to work on what I've been training on, ultimately, I'm playing like a lot of those guys that were being talked about were actually my close friends. So it's like we all were going to the same high school. So I'm like, all right, I gotta show up. You know what I mean? Like I've already played seniors, but that doesn't mean anything because these guys are playing juniors, but they're already the talk and they already have this more skill than I do. So I just put it to myself to, just dedicate myself, train, discipline, be the student of the game. To anyone who's on the court that I see who's my older heads, I just asked and soaked in as much knowledge as I can, man. And I just was a student of the game that whole summer. And literally, I kid you not, man, I would go train at 6 a.m. before school. I went to a Catholic school, so we started at 9. I would go at 6 a.m., 6:30 latest, go get shots up, go home for 8, shower, and then run to the bus stop so I can catch the bus to school. I dedicated myself, and then, yeah, man, the results literally, I kid you not, I knew I was going to play post-secondary, but I just knew I was going to be a marathon. Like I literally knew, all right, if I work, then results would show. And literally, I kid you not, like I didn't plan this. Like I was just seeing one day, and they're like, "Yo, this kid is good."
Yeah.
Like NPAs guys, those guys, like I'm pretty sure they didn't come to the gym to see Telloy Simon. They came to the gym to watch some other kid. But my hard work eventually got me ready to compete against those guys, and ultimately, again, it didn't like it didn't go unnoticed.
It's what it is. With your when you decommitted from UMass, did any part of you feel like it was like a failure in that situation, having to decommit and kind of start from scratch?
At first, I kid you not, like I thought about it with my family. I'm like, all right, damn, like this is like starting all over again. And there was a fear of the unknown, right? So it was like, damn, like I'm gambling here. You know what I mean? I'm going back to
now, you're going out to the bush now. It's like, yeah.
I got to start all over again. So I'm like, all right. But I knew the type of person I am. I'm pretty, when I want something, I work whatever it takes to get it. I try to go get it. You know what I mean? If I'm healthy, I'm going to do it. So when that happened, I just knew it was another challenge for me to just, you know what, this is a good opportunity, because if, let's say, another kid commits before you, because remember, it's a business, right? So just because I committed, if I take forever, if I take until July to make that decision, they're gonna, you know what I mean? They might not be flexible. They're gonna give you deadlines. So I knew I'm not gonna leave my decisions in November to one school, knowing that I'm still in my peak. I haven't reached my peak yet, you know what I mean? So I was nervous, but again, I wasn't a failure. I was nervous at first, but I knew with my ability that I was eventually, by the grace of God, first and foremost, I'm Christian, that I knew God will pretty much, if I'm honest with myself and I do the things that I need to do, I was going to get another shot at something.
Yeah. What about when you left Missouri to come back to Canada? Did any part of you feel like that situation was a failure?
Um, a little bit,
Yeah,
because I'm like, man, like I see a lot of guys, and seen some of the guys being talked about. Some of the guys are D1. A lot of the guys that I competed against were Division 1, and that's ultimately what I had originally before I decommitted. Um, I'm like, man, I should be at a Division 1 level. Like no offense to Division 2. The only difference is the school size. A lot of those Division 2, the league I was in, the GLVC, is a dog fight every night, man. Like
yeah,
Bellarmine now has one of the teams that was in my conference. They're actually at D1 now. They went to Division 1 2 years ago because their school size has increased. So I knew it wasn't a failure because first I was disappointed, but then I'm like, you know what? Eventually I'm gonna see these guys when I'm done, when I'm ready to be a pro.
yeah.
I know ultimately I knew at that time I was realistic with myself. I don't think the league is I ain't a lottery pick. You know what I mean? You gotta look at yourself. I'm not a lottery pick. So I'm gonna see these guys somewhere down the road, out of Europe, Canada, any league that I see these guys at, I'm gonna see them. So and that's ultimately what I told myself. And that's what's still driving me to this day.
Yeah. I hear you, man. You said you're a person, you're Christian, you live by faith. I try and walk in the same path and do the best that I can, you know? And I know as a person of faith, we don't like to look at regrets or, like what we could have done differently, whatever. But if you were to kind of look back and say, okay, maybe if there's one or two things I would have done differently with my experience in the States, is there anything that stands out in particular or?
One thing the biggest advice I would give any kid, and I tell my siblings this all the time, or any kid I see that's really serious, basketball is just one side of things. You know what I mean? Academic, you got to make sure your academics are on point. Like I've always took academic courses. I was always, that average student, but I didn't become that average student until like actually starting to look at, I can't get anything lower than 75 until grade 11. But remember, grade 9 and 10, they still look at that in your transcript.
Sure.
So it's like my biggest advice would be like, hey, if you can be an A student and be a solid basketball player, you're gonna give yourself an even better chance. You know what I mean? Because then that SAT score doesn't have to be so high. It can just be, you know what I mean, at a reasonable level where you can get.
Okay. If your GPA can kind of balance it out.
Okay. Yeah. If they can balance out, because remember your GPA, if you're an 80 the average, you might just have to get like a 900 depending on the state, because every state has a different requirement.
Okay. Yeah, so 3.0, you need this. You're at 3.2, you need this. That kind of.
Okay. So in Massachusetts, their score to get in there is different than Missouri. So that's why the score I had was able to get me to Missouri and not Massachusetts. Well, I looked at it at the end, not after I decommitted, right? Like at the end. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. How was your so you went from Missouri to straight to Windsor? Was that so Windsor, this Canadian school that you started at?
Yeah, so during my recruitment, obviously, I've took a lot of visits. I came to Windsor like 3 times in my high school, just visits, just because Coach Oliver and myself, like, we built that relationship. Went to St. Mary's down in the East Coast, went to St. FX as well, even Nipissing with Coach Chang. So I just kind of knew, I'm like, when I wanted to come, even Ottawa was highly interested. Johnny was leaving that year. Coach had messaged me. He was highly on me, like he's gonna bring me in to like score the rock. And like he was away that year with Team Canada, and he was still like that summer he was away, but he was gonna come back later so I can take a visit. But it didn't align with the timing, and I wanted to make my decision. My parents needed to make a decision. Like I needed to make a decision before July, because what I mean, like I need to go somewhere. And then that was unfortunate, and then I'm coming back. I'm like, all right, Ottawa or Windsor. Those are the schools that I was going to come back to. Yeah. Coach Oliver flew me out spring break. We chopped it up. I didn't even get my honor for like, I just kind of I said, I'm going home, man. And then I just kind of Came back, I felt to here. I went back, got my release paper. I'm like, I think God wanted me to come here initially. Cause I kid you not, I came like 6 visits, bro. Like
Bro.
3 in high school. A couple times I came with a friend.
Yeah.
And then I came, my 6th one was literally the spring break. And
Okay.
I'm like, you know what, yo, there's been so many signs, man, that I just need to give this a try. And then I came here, and then that's all she wrote, man. And it's great.
When you landed in Windsor, what year of academic did they place you at?
So I used 2 years of eligibility. So they just looked at my eligibility, right? So I remember I was technically a 3rd year, but I remember we're waiting for some of my transfer course credits, right? And those took forever. I didn't get all of them until the year after. Like, because remember, they came through, but remember, they still wait for a certain one, like just to compute the process is just so complex, man. Like even it's so complex. Even some of the guys on my team are like junior college kids. Those credits on the computer is not like I go to the register office. Like it's so complex to get those courses over here that like literally like, so I was technically I was good. I was on course, but I was like, I think 4 courses away from my actual year.
Okay. That's
So
not bad.
I made those up during the summertime. You know what I mean? Like taking summer school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had 2 basketball seasons at Windsor.
I did 2 already. Yeah. So I came 2017. I got injured that year. So I remember I went through training camp. We're getting ready for a Division I game against Jacksonville State. The night before the game, August 10th, I went down with my knee. And then literally 3 weeks later, because I'm not gonna go to the doctor unless I'm like, but I tore my ACL that I found out. I tore my meniscus and ACL. And then I took that year off. 2018, 2019, that's when I came back. Again, like, I was just throwing the water by Coach Oliver. And in 2019, 2020, I had Coach Chang.
Okay, and then the pandemic came.
Then the pandemic.
If you compare the 18-19 season, your one season with Ollie and your one season with Chang, how would you compare how would you describe yourself as a basketball player in comparison to like those 2 seasons?
Man, coming back from an ACL injury is like, you're not yourself. Like, I wasn't myself, like the first 6, 7 games, man, it's straight adjust. You're trying to be the player you used to be, but yes, I could do it, but it's the fear of doing it again. You know what I mean? So it was like, all right, the first few games, remember, I didn't do training camp. Yeah. So it's like, I literally, all the work that I've done personally with my like obviously physio is different, but the only thing that will get me through is the work that I put in by myself. That was what's going to get me through that season. So I'm like, all right, I put up a lot of shots. I'm the deezest I've ever been in my career, like muscle wise, because I put in so much work in the weight room. So it was pretty easy in the sense of getting to the paint was easier because I was stronger. Yeah. The next thing I would say would be I was a smarter basketball player, you know what I mean, when I came back, because I knew I had to find different ways to do something that I used to do, like a different way. So my footwork became really crucial. Yeah. So my footwork that year has been something that I stuck out to, like, yo, this injury was a blessing because my game has changed where like I'm a smarter basketball player. I'm more fundamental. And obviously I watched for an entire year, so I know the system in and out of where players are going to be with spacing. So I took that year as like a learning year. Like, I was grateful that I led the lead and the team in scoring that year. Yeah. So I led our team in scoring. But again, I wasn't myself. I was like almost 13, but yeah. I knew I wasn't myself. I was just shooting the ball because I'm a shooter. So I was just literally shooting the ball, and if they bite, I'll take a mid-range or I get to the rim. And then Chang's year, 2018, 2019, I was back. You know what I mean? There was really no excuses. It's like I was back, but the only thing that kept holding me back is a little nagging injury, because I'm like,
you still feel it?
Like not the ACL. ACL is, I'm back. Like I don't even think about it anymore. Like I'm normal. I'm more explosive than I was. Confidence at its highest, like to where I used to be. But the nagging injuries is like I'll jam a finger here, my hamstring, you know what I mean? Like I'll get a little hamstring injury that'll send me out for 2 games, or just little injuries that held me back from like literally being one of the being up there, in talks in the All-Star. But that again, I still second leading scorer myself and Tom, still average 16, average six rebounds. And I still did okay, but I know this is a big year coming up. So I already know what I'm gonna do.
For sure. Since the pandemic started in March till now, is there anything that you would have done differently in that time if you kind of known, because it was tough, like we don't know what was going on or what to kind of do, you know what I mean? Is there anything you wish you had done differently that could have maybe prepared you better for now, or are you satisfied with the way you handled it?
I'm satisfied, man. Like remember I played basketball all out. Like just because the pandemic doesn't mean I can't. Winter time they restricted us, but even like during the red zone, I was still having access to the gym. You know what I mean? Like the weather got warmer. Like you got March, April, the sun started coming up. I'm finding myself to a park. I'm working on my game. So literally, I'm so grateful because now it's like I'm a student of the game. I watch so many basketball. I watch so many tapes of myself. Have a lot of conversation with developing a relationship with my teammates. Nah, man, it's a blessing. Like I use those years, like the 16 months as a blessing because like I literally grew as an individual. I'm taking care of my academic. I was a all academic team, like U Sports. So it's like I was an all academic Canadian this year. I was able to strap down on the academics because there's no excuse of not getting 80 plus, you know what I mean? So again, it was a blessing because I was able to, just do a lot of the things that, I had so much time that I could do so much more, you know what I mean? And grow as a person.
That's good. How are you doing in terms of your body right now, in terms of injuries, or how are you feeling right now?
Man, I'm taking care of myself, I say is like the best I felt. I kid you not, it's the best I felt skill-wise, confident-wise, and taking pride on like I'm smart on how I use my energy, you know what I mean? Because I know I'm going to be playing a lot of minutes. So we'll talk about my team in a bit, but I already know like the team that we have, like I can have leeway now to be a scorer instead of like defending the best guy every day, you know what I mean? And being able to score as well. So now it's like my body feels great, man. I'm just smarter as a basketball player. Again, like it's just much more skillful, you know what I mean? Post, you guys coach, I tell coach I want to be in the post more, man. So again, like I've been working on a lot of my post moves, just my whole complete game. Cause like I already know, like once I already have the 3 ball down, my fadeaway game is good. But now if I've been working on a hook shot, that's gonna be unstoppable. Like literally, like it's crazy, man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'3", 6'4".
6'3", 6'4". Okay.
Yeah, 6'4".
So assuming we're back in September, you think people are sleeping on Windsor?
I think Windsor hasn't gotten the respect that it once had back in the day with Alex Campbell days, those guys, those big teams, Josh Collins, those when they were a powerhouse. So I feel like, like we got to go earn that respect and take that respect. Yeah, we made the playoffs over the last year we did. But man, listen, we trying to go nationals, man.
Yeah.
You're trying to go national. So I believe like we have to prove ourselves. Obviously, just because again, the roster that we have, which we'll talk about. We just gotta reprove ourselves, and we can't just come out here and think we're gonna, whatever. It's because we did okay last year doesn't mean we gotta reprove ourselves and show guys, this is who we are.
For sure. So you want people to be sleeping on you guys, so you can just kind of fly under the radar, do your thing, and just you don't want to basically.
Hey, we don't want the hype, man. We just want to make sure each game. And the end, on the one side where you see Windsor, you see a W, man. That's all we care about. You don't need no extra hype or whatever. We're coming to get it. We don't need it. We're gonna come to get it.
So no one's checking off Windsor as an easy win, and
Oh,
Windsor
hell,
night, Western Saturday night. Oh, Friday night's easy. We're Good Friday. You know what I mean? Let's just
nah, man, the mentality that we have, like some of the teams, they know who they are in our schedule.
yeah,
If you know who you are, like or my mentality at least is, hey, I'm telling the bus driver, hey, start the bus third quarter.
yeah.
We're not coming to play around. We're coming to win. We're coming to win, man. We just start the bus third quarter, man. If you ain't ready to play with us, it's gonna be a long ass night for you guys.
I heard that. Let's talk about the team a little bit. Who are you looking forward? We'll leave Thomas out of it. Besides Thomas, who are you looking forward to getting back and hooping with on the court? Doing some
Um, just the whole team, man. Like, just the guys. I just miss the commodity. Like, just the guys, all of us. The bond that we have as a team is actually special, man. Like, a lot of us are actually tight. Like, it's actually a great culture that Chang and his coaching staff has created out here. So it's like, for me, it's like I just miss all my guys, man. Like, I just want to get back to war with them. Like, not even the starters or whatever, just even the last guys on the bench, even guys who are just redshirt. Like, a lot of those guys are gonna be big, bro, because like with the roster that we have, it's gonna be competitive all year round, like
top to bottom.
top to bottom, man. Like, and that's what we need to be a top-notch team. You know what I mean?
Do you know any of the rookies?
Yeah, for sure. Like, they're all, I try to check on. I try to check out on all of them. I try to call at least one a week. You know what I mean? Just to catch up and see how things are, because I am the captain and I'm the OG. So Isaiah, close with Seg down in Winnipeg, Lorenzo, Ziff, who else? Ryan from local, Braden. I know all of them, you know what I mean? I try to connect with them, even when I'm busy, some of them, we maybe a month goes by without talking, but I try to at least check on one of them,
Yeah, I know Lorenzo. I've seen him play. Kind of watched him play a bit growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good man. He's going to be going to fit into your system. A lot of the other guys I'm not too familiar with, but I've seen the rookie class you have a deep rookie class coming in.
Yeah, Ben, I forgot Ben. That's my guy. Yeah, Ben. We have a deep. It's deep, man. It's deep. Like, literally the rookies,
Ben.
the vets, and we just got what's his face? We just got even some guy. Jalen Syke was on the team, but I don't know. Like, he's still working on trying to get him back with us. We got who else came here? Tone Junior College. Yeah, so he's it's gonna help big time. And Xavier X from down in the thing, he's from Dalhousie. He's here with us as well. It's gonna be solid, man.
Transfers, man. I think too, especially if all the eligibility and stuff works in everyone's favor, and you guys are all eligible, there's gonna be some tough decisions, but a good roster is gonna come from it,
Exactly, man. Exactly. And guys are, as not much has to be said, man. All the guys are motivated. Like, literally in our group chats, like, we all know where we want to be, bro. Like, literally, we want to be in Calgary next, like, when Calgary is going to be where Nationals is. That's our goal.
100%. Speaking of the rookies and the young bucks, is there anyone you just want to put as your little brother? Anyone that you're kind of gonna be like, I want to mentor this guy and just take this guy under my wing because I see you don't mean you kind of see yourself in somebody, or you just want to just be the older brother to this dude.
I would say Isaiah. We have a good relationship. He kind of remind me of myself. Like in high school, like every time he talks, I'm like, bro, just relax, man. This just flashbacks to me. Like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, bro, because he has confidence, and that's the confidence I still carry. But in high school, I was more audible, I mean? I'd be like, just talk all type of trash. But with him, it's like, I just tell him, like, yo, man, like, whatever you need, I'm here. Like, I mean? Like, with him, he's just doing the game, man, because I tell him, bro, like, try to come for my spot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just because I'm a vet, come get it. You know what I mean? Like, don't shy away from it. Like, and then, like, he's so locked in, and he's always seeking help. Like, he asks me all the time, hey, like, what did we run last year? So I'm literally, while he's outside, I'm showing him like some of our actions and all that stuff, giving him advice that's gonna be highs and lows. It's not gonna be, like you might not play, but yo, just stick into it. There's gonna be a time where you're needed, and that's when you're
Yeah.
good to go. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my rookie that I've kind of really been trying to harp on and try to show him everything that I've learned along the way, so he can get it in 1 year. And once he get in that 1 year, it's a wrap, man.
Yeah,
wrap.
for sure. Did you have any mentors when you came in?
In Missouri, I did. I had a great vet, and he kind of impacted the way I lead as well, because his name was Zach. Like, he was just one of those guys that would just, like, just come to me calmly and just talk to me and just let me know, kind of show me how talented I am. And I just have to be patient, because, just because I'm not playing doesn't mean I'm not good. It just means you just have to be patient, because right now, this is not the direction. Like, this is, yes, you can score, but yo, that guy can also score. You just have to have patience, just what's working at the time, and just is, it's deeper than anything else. You just have to have patience. So he built that in me. So I didn't kind of understand until I got here and was, pretty much the leader out here. So I had to make sure, like, we all can be, KDs in the team. We all can be scorers. There's roles, you gotta be able to do something else. Like, that's why I take so much pride on being able to do everything on the court, because like, Tom can be hot, Shaq can be hot, Buck can be hot, Jordan can be hot, anybody, the rookies, Ben, anybody can be hot. So yo, how am I gonna get myself on the court?
Yeah.
I can defend, I can rebound. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So again, is ultimately what you want to do, that, like, what you can control, and that's the little things, like, that will ultimately help you be on the court.
Was there any NBA player you try to model your game after?
Kobe, man.
Yeah.
I got that Kobe fade. Coach Rod, and when Coach Chang's watching this, he knows my Kobe fade is lethal, man. Like my footwork, I try to, like, I watch so many tapes of, not even just the game of Kobe. I just literally don't even watch where the ball is. I literally just watch his feet.
Yeah.
All right, what did he just do? Okay, how did he get that? Like, I'm just, this pandemic, that's all I've been doing. All right, how did he, even KD in the playoffs, like, I would rewatch the game again. I'll be like, all right, how did he just post that militant like that? And how did he post Jrue Holiday? All right, the fade's not going, you gotta go up and under because they're expecting the fade. Just little tricks there and there. Yeah. So Kobe is my guy. I try to emulate a lot of the things I do down low because of him.
Proper. Last question I'll leave you with. I personally feel this last 15 months has had we'll see the impact that it's had on Canada basketball. I feel we were on a trajectory with everything, you know what I mean? Like, getting draft picks in with the Gilchrist brothers, Shea, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Xavier, I can't remember his name, is the dude in the Rathan Mays, Xavier Rathan Mays. He's playing for his little brother or cousin, Wonder Orange. Anyway, we have a whole bunch of talent, you know what I mean? So I feel this 15 months, it kind of set us back a little bit. That's just my personal feeling. I hope I'm wrong. I guess what I'm asking you to do is give me a couple of reasons as to why I'm wrong, and if you feel that Canada can get back to that part where it is where we're pushing out the type of talent that we were prior to the outbreak.
Now, I think you're on the ball, man. Just exposure-wise, I think we're behind. Or just not us, just literally the States has been going, sort of been going, you know what I mean? So they kind of have something that they could show. A lot of our youth, they haven't really had anything going. So a lot of the guys who were in grade 9, they're, you know what I mean? They lost grade 10. They're going to go into grade 11. You know what I mean? So that's a big gap to where, like, man, like, you can't show a grade 9 tape because now you grew 5 inches. So, like, you're on the ball where, like, we're behind in the exposure. But in terms of development, if you were a hooper and you have aspiration of basketball, that shouldn't have stopped you.
Okay.
Literally, there's no excuses. You have more time than ever. School's online. So you can be literally doing push-ups with the teachers talking.
Yeah.
It's like, in that aspect, strength wise, the little detail, whatever you need as a player to get better, that was available to you, is whether or not you chose to do it.
Right.
That would be my answer still, because I don't know, like they're really you know me, like I don't like to make excuses anywhere. You know what I mean? If there's a will, there's a way. So it's like we all have the same 24 hours.
Sure.
The only thing that we didn't have is the ability to play, which that really sucked and held us back as a country.
Yeah. But like you're saying, you made a good point though. Because of it, we should be that much stronger. We should have that much more ball sense. We should have that much more like little small skills, because you can take a ball and nobody was stopping you from working on your handles, working on your shot form, working on even defensive stance, defensive posture, any of that stuff, right? So that's a good point you just made there.
Exactly.
And I hope the season comes back. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll probably keep you on for a couple more minutes just to chop it up with you. Is there anything else you want to say or leave the viewers with?
Nah, man, just if you guys happen to be nearby when we're playing, just come out and watch, man. Come see what we have. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a solid team, and it's gonna be great basketball. So.
All right, man. Telloy, Simon, appreciate you. Thanks a lot, man. I'm just gonna cut it here.
Yeah.